Let me start with something uncomfortable but familiar. In a lot of companies, doing your job well every single day is not what gets you promoted. And if you've ever wondered why someone who had one good idea seems to leapfrog people who've kept the place running for years, this video is for you. I've been digging into why this happens and what it means for people like us. I'm not here to rant. I'm here to explain why this happens, what you can do about it without becoming a loud, fake, or unbearable at work. I'll share two of my personal experiences with you along with their outcomes. I'll cover some uncomfortable truths and show you what you can do to get noticed without dressing up as a clown. Most of us start our careers with a simple belief. If I work hard, if I'm reliable, if I don't screw things up, someone will notice. So we fix problems, we quietly do that. We take responsibility, always. We keep things stable, because we can. And we avoid drama. And for a while, that feels adult, professional, sensible. But then something strange happens. You don't fail. Nothing goes wrong. You just stall. You notice that your workload increases, but your influence doesn't. You're trusted with risk, but not with opportunity. You're the person people rely on, not the person they talk about. And slowly, an uncomfortable question forms. If I'm doing everything right, why does it feel like I'm not moving anything forward? That's usually the moment people start doubting themselves. What you're seeing isn't stupidity or favoritism, at least not always. It's visibility bias mixed with recency bias. What I mean by these two terms is that the managers tend to overweigh the following things: recent events, clear wins, moments they personally witnessed. They underweigh quiet reliability, long-term risk prevention, work that made problems never happen. They reward what they can explain to their bosses in one sentence: recently. That's not malicious, it's human. But as you and I know, it has consequences. Years ago, I had a weekend where the server room air conditioning failed. Not during office hours, not with a nice escalation chain, on a weekend. If you work in IT, you probably already feel where this is going. I spent the time setting up our manual backup systems, monitoring temperatures, making sure nothing overheated, preventing what would have been a full-blown outage on Monday morning. Come Monday, everything worked. No downtime, no emergency, no crisis, and therefore no story. From the business point of view, nothing happened, which ironically was the entire point. What this story shows isn't a failure on anyone's part. It shows that risk avoidance rarely creates a narrative unless someone deliberately frames it. Ownership was taken. Value was delivered. Visibility wasn't. This is what I call the plumbing problem. If plumbing works, nobody claps. If it fails, everyone screams. A lot of essential work that you do now lives in that invisible zone. Valuable, but quiet. And quiet work rarely turns into promotion material on its own. Here's another one from my personal vault, and this one matters. We needed to replace a large number of laptops. The usual approach would have been pick one model that I think works for the business, roll it out, deal with the complaints later. Instead, this time, I decided I would try a different, more visible approach. So, I worked with the supplier and brought in 5 different laptop models. I put them out in one of the meeting rooms, and then I called everyone to that room. I let people touch them, feel the keyboards, feel the screens, compare weight and build quality. Then they chose. What was the outcome? Better buy-in, fewer complaints, happier users, less long-term friction for IT. Now here's the critical part. This time, the work didn't stay invisible because it created these things. Conversations across teams, positive feedback from the users, signals that reached all of upper management, and eventually visibility at the leadership team level. Not because I asked for praise, but because the decision showed ownership, empathy, and proactive thinking that people could see. Same person, me. Same competence, me. Different visibility. That small but significant difference in how I did a normal laptop replacement action mattered. Most organizations don't reward consistent, low drama excellence by default. They reward ownership that's visible, proactive ideas that reduce friction, clear before and after outcomes, work that creates confidence up the chain. That's not a broken system. It's simply how humans make decisions under pressure. Unfair, often. Common, absolutely. New, not even slightly. I'm sure this predates work from home and open plan offices by a few centuries. When people like you and me realize this, they often make one of two mistakes. They get bitter and disengaged. They keep working harder, but silently. Neither works. And there's a third, quieter mistake. They tie their self-worth entirely to recognition. That's dangerous because recognition is inconsistent, politically, and often delayed, while your value as a professional is not. Remember this hard truth so that you can take action to prevent it. Nobody is coming to connect the dots on your contribution for you. Not because they're cruel, because they're busy, human, and biased towards what they can see right now. So what does work without turning into a self-promoting nightmare? Think in terms of ownership value, not attention. 3 practical moves that have worked for me in the past. Make outcomes visible, not the effort. Don't say, I worked all weekend. Say, we avoided downtime on Monday and protected the business. That's ownership language. 2, package quiet wins into short, repeatable stories. 1 sentence. Before, after, business impact. You're not bragging. You're documenting value. And 3, add visible, thoughtful extras selectively. 1 proactive improvement per quarter is enough. Not noise, not theater. Just something people can point at and say, that made things better. And if you're a senior manager or director watching this today, or have what it needs to influence your organization to change how they do things, encourage your organization to improve. Here are 3 things that researchers have found to improve performance reviews. Use clearer, role-based criteria instead of vague clipness. Broaden feedback to include peers and customers. This is 360-degree feedback. It works wonders. And create space for both steady excellence and visible initiatives. Better systems make good people easier to work with. In this video, I'm not talking about gaming the system, but understanding it. Your good work matters, and your ownership matters more. Yet visible ownership is what tends to travel to where it can make an impact for you, your team, your colleagues, and ultimately your organization. Stop waiting to be noticed. Start being understood. Influence isn't about being loud. It's about leaving a tangible mark, whether through ideas, actions, or outcomes. Aim to leave lasting contributions that others can follow, learn from, or build upon. Thank you for your time today, and remember this: your value isn't defined by applause. But if you want influence, make sure your work leaves